Let's start with the next conversation. We will delve in the transformative power of converging blockchain with other emerging technologies by integrating blockchain with innovations like AI, IOT, quantum computing, and 5G. We are witnessing the creation of powerful synergies that are reshaping industries and driving unprecedented advancements. Ranging from enhanced data security and greater automation to unprecedented efficiency. For this conversation, please welcome Rik, Hugo, and Slavik. Welcome. Hello, hello. Fijn dat je bent. Please have a seat. Hello. Hugo and Slavik. Wow. And ladies and gentlemen, I was just reminded of the fact that, again, it's a conversation with not just the thought leaders, the professionals that we have here on stage, but also with you. So should you have a question, a remark, a doubt, whatever, for the speakers, please do scan this QR code, share it with us via the app, and if time is permitting me, I'm happily incorporating it in the conversation. All right. Now, gentlemen, warm welcome. Maybe we can start with a short introduction round about yourself, your journey in Web3, and what you're currently doing. Can I start over here?
Sure. Hello, my name is Slavik, and I'm CEO and founder of StonFi. It's the largest DEX on Ton blockchain. And Ton blockchain was designed for scalability, and now it's the native blockchain of Telegram that gives us access to nearly 1 billion of users.
Yeah, that's really exciting, right? New development. The Ton coin was also going through the roof. I was chatting with the guys from Telegram, and I saw how easy it is nowadays within the Telegram app actually to transfer money. So really exciting. Looking forward to talk more about that later. But Hugo, let's continue with the introductions first.
Yeah, thank you for having me. My name's Hugo Feiler. I'm co-founder and CEO of Minima. Minima is a layer 1 blockchain that runs in full on edge devices. And when I say in full, you're probably thinking it's a validator, maybe a staker, something like that, basically. But no, we're a layer 1, which is proof of work, where every single device at the edge runs a full constructing and validating node, making it a completely decentralized network. And we launched last year our mainnet, and at the end of last year, we turned off all of our internal servers. So literally the entire network is run at the edge. And we run on mobile phones, IoT devices, and soon to make an announcement about running embedded on chip. The benefit of running at the edge, a full blockchain at the edge, allows devices to be able to generate tokens from device for access control and incentives. It allows for data attestation on device, and it also allows for secure communication and value transfer device to device. And we're working in a number of verticals, including telecoms and automotive.
Wow, so I'm usually living on the edge, but you're working on the edge. That's interesting. And you're working on DeepIn, right? The DeepIn. Yeah. Can you maybe shortly explain for those who are not familiar with this concept what it is about?
Yeah, so I mean, very, very briefly, DeepIn is the use of tokens to incentivize the use, the maintenance, and the growth of decentralized physical infrastructure networks. So a lot of areas are covering off in terms of compute, data storage, and connectivity as well.
Wonderful. Continuing to Rik. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Rik. I'm the founder of WorkX. WorkX is a project I started 8 years ago already. It was something that started because of my father. He owns an executive search business here in the Netherlands, and I thought, like, that old business model just screams for disruption. Because for every candidate that he placed somewhere else, he can ask 30% commission. I was like, wow, that's impressive. They call it the old boys network sometimes, but also in more scalable industries, like for example Upwork and Fiverr, you see that a lot of people are offering their services on these platforms, and these platforms are well, relatively cheap to build nowadays. Back in the days it was different, but my idea was that how is it possible that the cost of running and building a network like that is decreasing so exponentially, and at the same time the fees remain at 30% or sometimes even 40% for every hour that a candidate works. So ask any Uber driver and they will all tell you the same story. I tried it. They love the application because they click a single button and they have a customer, but they don't earn a lot because everything is going to Uber. And yeah, our concept is that people only pay for what they use. So we create a decentralized job economy, basically, where you pay a dynamic fee of like 2 to 5%. We use that money to maintain and continuously innovate the platform. And in this way, the salaries are optimized of workers, and the cost of paying for a certain service also decreases because, yeah, it's just economically much more efficient. So we did our ICO in 2021. We planned on launching straight away, but then the bear market commenced. So we went back into build mode for 2 years. We built a first version of WorkX and also an AI assistant because
AI.
That also happened along the way. So that was really cool that we could, if you are creating a job posting, like literally the only thing you have to do is tell us what you're looking for. And we have 14 different LLMs that we run, where in different industries, knowing, like really fine-tuning what the right skills, characteristics, preferences are that you need nowadays to statistically perform well in that industry. And it often gives you suggestions that you don't really thought of initially. For our first client, APG, we found out that people on the customer support departure are great, work very great if they have history in healthcare. And I'm like, okay, why? Because they care. They had in common that they have a characteristic. We care that the problem will actually be solved. Anyway, I'm making this too long, but that's what we do.
Sure. Wonderful. That's a long introduction, but maybe we can continue because you guys working on all these beautiful intersections of technology, right? Of different technologies, converging them with each other. From your perspective, like what are the most promising synergies between blockchain and other emerging technologies, and how can these be leveraged to create new business models? Please, Hugo.
Yeah. So I mean, I think one of the industries that is seeing a huge huge amount of new technology is the automotive industry. So obviously moving from self-driving to autonomous driving and into electrification as well. And there are a number of areas there that the automotive industry is really looking to blockchain and some of the solutions we're building and having nodes on the head units of vehicles to be able to do things like EV charging. So, for example, we run nodes on head units of vehicles and on EV charging boxes. Now, the reason why they're looking to do that is that they're looking, automotive OEMs are looking to bring on board millions of new EV cars, EVs, and the public infrastructure is not going to be able to cope with that number of cars coming online. And so they're looking at ways to extend out the infrastructure for charging by incentivizing, in many ways, a sort of enterprise deep-in use case in many ways. So they're looking to incentivize private wallbox owners to rent out their boxes to the general public. And what we're doing is effectively allowing cars to, drivers to find a wallbox that they want to go to book a rental period, and then that is then tokenized so that node to node, the car and the wallbox can communicate and they get access control to that wallbox, and allow the ability for private wallboxes to earn income from that. Another aspect within the car itself is batteries. Obviously, the electric batteries there. The electric car, 60% of its value is going to be in the battery. How it's charged, whether you're constantly charging it as far to the max with a supercharger, or you're trickle charging it to 80% like they say on the instructions. And that kind of has a massive effect on the life of a battery. And if you have an embedded node on that device being able to have an immutable record of how that battery has been treated and used, then it can add a lot of value to the vehicle itself. So we're finding specifically there in those two use cases that electrification is really in need of the kind of immutable records that a blockchain can deliver.
Yeah, no, what I think is very exciting about this new development, the deep-in development, is that you're actually adding value to like existing infrastructures, right? I mean, it's our EV boxes, it's our cars that just scan the roads and build like a new version of Google Maps, Wi-Fi networks, that kind of stuff, and actually people owning them now can generate income, right? Passive income. So I think that's a very interesting thing. So you're adding these layers of value on existing infrastructure. And I think, Slavik, you're doing the same, right? I mean, we have like let's say a Web 2.0 traditional social media channel, say Telegram, and you are building like this new layers of value on it, right?
Right, and this is this thing is doable now because of scalability and more traditional blockchains don't allow that kind of that number of transactions. No. And for example, in previous October, Ton has established a world record for 100,000 transactions per second.
Per second?
Yes.
So that's...
So it makes it possible to use the blockchain a lot of users simultaneously, and with 100,000 transactions per second is actually far from theoretical
necessity. Yeah, what we actually need.
So we will work on it more and allow it to scale further.
Yeah.
And yes, it opens a lot of possibilities for uses of blockchains. For example, GameFi, true scalable DeFi, and so on.
Yeah. Now, we're talking about speed, we're talking about efficiency, cost efficiency. But I read from, for example, all the developments in AI that most companies are mostly interested in all these efficiencies, right? So less labor force, more efficient labor force. What are, according to you guys, the key catalysts that drive innovation at the intersection of blockchain and other emerging technologies? What do you think, Rik?
Good question. So you mean what the converging element between is accelerating the entire innovation?
Yeah. What are the key catalysts that are really driving these innovations?
Yeah. Well, I was going to talk about data privacy because that's where I think in our case we see the most parts converging. For example, we didn't want to become a next LinkedIn. Where we save the data of our users and then monetize that behind their backs. So we spend a lot of time initially on self-sovereign identity and making sure that all our users are able to regain control over their own data because it's very valuable, and we don't want to be in possession of it because it should not reside at any central authority. But to do this, it only really works. Well, there's different opinions about this, whether you love WorldCoin or you want to see governments issuing DIDs, which is linked to your physical passport. But on the one hand, I would say, yes, the governments and institutions that are included in this ecosystem are trying to push this, which is quite interesting to see. We spent 2 years on working together with like an incubator in Europe through Brussels. We got funding from the European Commission to work on the development of these self-sovereign identity wallets in the context of our use case. I'm not sure if they're actually making it quicker or slower, but it's definitely going into the right direction because of it. We see that because of the funding that we get from the European Commission, but also other companies that we work with together, for example, BC Diploma, it's a great company that issues like diplomas to students that recently graduated. They can come on our platform and just connect like they do on Uniswap, and they already have their diploma verified that can be trusted. And any employer can hire someone by directly trusting that information, and that data is not stored by us, but at the student on his own phone. So the fact that you see institutions and governments collaborating to this, where AI, data privacy, blockchain all comes together, it definitely doesn't make it faster, but it does make it better.
Yeah. Do you agree? Yeah, Hugo?
Yeah, no, I do agree. I mean, going back to your question in terms of on a broader level, I think money is the big catalyst, obviously, as always, and where money's involved, people will try and make more money than they should do or anything like that, and blockchain really helps to create that transparency. So, through the growth of AI, there's huge amounts of demand for compute, and we see lots of projects delivering decentralized compute as well, likes of sort of Ethea, Akash, Render, and obviously they're creating marketplaces for sort of decentralized supply of compute. But the challenge is going to be, so that's the incentivization from the token side of things in terms of blockchain. But equally as well, we believe that there's going to come a point when actually people are really going to want to have proof that they were delivered, the amount of compute that they paid for and the amount of access they got. And so again, embedding blockchain on those devices so that can be proven, then you can actually have a marketplace that has a premium leveled on it, given its provenance, stuff like that basically. So all of that stuff is going to fuel it. Where money is involved, people want to be able to trust where that's coming from, basically.
Now, these are some very cool ideas, future outlooks, already experiences, of course, successful use cases. But what are the key challenges in achieving interoperability between blockchain and other emerging technologies? And how can it be addressed? How can it be tackled, these challenges? I see Rik nodding.
Yeah, no, I definitely have something here. I mean, I think it's Web3 adoption. It's for everybody here. It's probably not so hard to create a MetaMask account and have your own wallet and own your own data, money, etc.
I see a couple of people in the audience where I know they have very still problems with that, but still, yeah.
Almost everybody outside of that doesn't.
I see a couple of people.
And I think it's too naive to think that we're going to explain our grandmothers how they can use a MetaMask. And that's a very exaggerated example, I know. But I think this is a problem we all face. And what I really believe in is trying to find the Web 2.5 use cases where we can make it easier for people. And yes, that also means that for some people you need to have custodial solutions. But I think that for some user groups, a custodial solution is much better than having control over something that you don't really should. With great power comes great responsibility, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm disappointed a little bit by the speed of Web3 adoption and how we are finding ways to make it easier for users.
Yeah, and you mentioned the example of having your mother installing a MetaMask app. Well, I organized an NFT gallery during a huge art fair in Maastricht. Mm-hmm. And there I gave away an NFT for everybody, like a PO-up to everybody for free. And indeed, my mom, she's just able to use WhatsApp, and that's perfectly fine. She's 70. But my dad, he really liked to, go through this process of installing it. In the end, it worked out. But then, I think it's just because he did it for me, because otherwise all the other people of, let's say, older age, they just refused to take all the steps and just get the PO-up, right? So they just refused, and they felt like, oh yeah, that's a nice gimmick, but not for me. Now, Also looking a little bit at the ethical considerations. What ethical considerations do arise from the convergence of blockchain and other technologies, and how can they be addressed to really ensure like responsible innovation?
So, I mean, I think data privacy is a key one there, because obviously you have a public blockchain, and therefore, in theory, all data is on chain. And obviously, Web2 companies who are building out, who are sort of GDPR compliant, find this, hugely challenging. And so you need to find ways. I mean, obviously there are lots of solutions building for that in terms of sort of zero knowledge proofs. And the way that we work that is because every device is a full node, then every device keeps their own data. And so that means that each device is effectively holding its own data. And so in that respect, it's not on public. I mean, you can see the state of the chain, but the actual details of that node are kept with the user themselves. And I think also there are going to be ways for in the design to be able to allow users to be able to choose how much data they allow to be accessible. I guess there'll be incentives from the companies that they're using the facilities of. There'll be more incentive. The more incentivized you are to sort of give away your data, then they might do that as well. Basically, you might get better. You get rewarded for that. But then at least you're putting that decision to the user rather than the other way around.
I'm already getting warnings like, 25 minutes. So I'm going to easily close down this conversation. Looking forward, what I do with every speaker here at the Dutch Blockchain Days. So maybe we can close down the conversation, each of you, with this one emerging trend that you guys foresee in the convergence of blockchain and other technologies, and maybe how businesses that are here with us today can prepare to really capitalize on these trends. Can I start with you, Slavik?
Well, I would expect to see growing adoption of blockchains. So, more and more people will use various blockchain technologies, and that means that less technologically advanced users will use it, first of all. So, I think we should work on user experience stuff and making all these products based on blockchain accessible for everyone.
And I think you guys are doing a great job
Thanks.
when it comes to...
We're trying to do our best, yes.
Yeah. Hugo?
I think, the emerging trend is definitely everything's getting more connected. We're not going back. The genie is out the bottle now. Everything's getting more connected in terms of devices. And so so blockchain will be huge in that as more things get connected, they need to be able to be more decentralized, so there's a resilience there, and they're not no reliance on centralized infrastructure so that it can scale. In terms of getting involved, I think that ensuring that you have the right foundations for that decentralization, so that you're not going to be left working on a project that actually is not as decentralized as you thought it was at the beginning, and needs to be decentralized from the beginning. It can't re-decentralize once it's centralizing, because there's too many incentives for it to keep centralizing. And I think that's what we're finding with sort of our Web2 partners in the automotive industry. They understand the potential of blockchain, but they're now looking for the right solution that isn't just the ones in the news, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Rik, to conclude.
I love that. I mean, and I'm going to steal a part of it. I think because everything is becoming more connected, we have so much more data that we gather. And if we look at, for example, AI, everybody talks about AI. Why? Because now there is enough data to properly train our algorithms to make sure that yeah, we see ChatGPT do what it does. But AI is not new, it's 20, 30 years old. All those algorithms, they're just statistics. But I think that because everything is becoming more connected, and we now even our fridge and our watches are measuring stuff, that we become increasingly aware that that data is worth something. And I know I'm a bit biased here because I'm a big advocate of this, but many people do not recognize that even sharing their LinkedIn profile is worth $80. Whenever you log in on some website, you say log in with Google or log in with LinkedIn, you are giving away value, you're giving away data. And yeah, I think that once people get more aware of this, we will have these data economies where people are able to monetize on their data, but also because of that become increasingly willing to share that. And that data economy is going to fuel AI innovation that we've only seen the tip of the iceberg of, I think.
Wow, I think a beautiful closure to this conversation. Slavik, Hugo, and Rik, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.